Good morning. Good morning. You already know what time it is. Tony, Lavelle, too many hats purchased. Pull up to the table, grab a seat, let's begin. Real conversations when the hats come in. Life lessons, relationships too. Different perspectives, but the talk stay true. Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. Life, love, truth, and wisdom. Yeah, we talking about it. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Don't miss it on Facebook and YouTube. Pull up and come kick it. Tony got perspective. The veil bring it truth. And when Queen Watkins pull up, she spilling that tea for you. Queen Watkins segment. Like that T-A-T. You know when Queen step in the room, the conversation getting real, real soon. Real, real soon. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Too many hats podcast. Yeah, we talking about it.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy. What day is it? Tuesday. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. It's your host with the most, Tante Mays, Lavelle Salter. What it do, my guy?
What it do? Hey. I'm back. Yeah. Hey, man. I gotta come get. We got any more hats left?
Yeah. Come get you one, bro. Come get you some.
Because I'm gonna have to hang my little friend, man. Our new little child. I think he like too many hats podcast.
He ate it up.
Both of my hats.
Man, that man tripping. Good morning, Ms. Gwen. So we want to apologize first of all. We were a few minutes late because we were sitting there trying to work out. So I was trying to figure out what was going on my camera, and then I figured it out. I didn't have the right camera on.
Oh, I didn't know that. I couldn't
and then two, we got a new voice. We got a new number to call in, and we was trying to kind of work through that, but we ain't got to work through yet. So we're gonna have to work on that at another time. But we do have another number to be able to call in. We'll use this 438 one for now, but we got a new one that we can use. Where Lavelle and I both can have access to it to use it. Right. I don't know how it's gonna work with this show. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll definitely figure it out. So, good morning, Clarence Clater, the newlywed Clarence Clater Jr.
Yes.
Man, we back on. I ain't got no shouts out this morning, man. Shout out to Lord, man.
Bro, I was like actually because I've been up about an hour, but I was like actually looking for something positive to share. And I couldn't find nothing. Like, this is ridiculous. Like,
there's plenty of stuff I could have shared, but I mean nothing that's I guess relevant to to what we got going. So yeah, So
look, I'm just gonna dive right into the part too, because like I just literally just saw coming upstairs. This dude is 60 years old, married to a 24-year-old. Is there a limit to the age? I know that she's of age, but to me, if I'm that old, you got to be pretty much inexperienced. You don't know nothing.
Good morning, sir. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna preface this by saying I don't care.
I mean, I get it.
I don't care if like Monica Ingram said yesterday, you get who gets you, and if the 24-year-old is okay knowing that they are dating a 60-year-old and vice versa, who are we to tell them not to be happy if they truly happy in what they're doing?
Yeah, I'm not saying it. I ain't talking about that part. I'm just talking about in general. I mean, as far as like, because like, bro, that's your granddaughter, not daughter.
I get it. Like I told you yesterday, my mom was about 20 some years, almost 30 years younger than my stepfather.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that when we first met each other.
He had kids her age.
Right.
but they were always still respectful to her. All of that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think it's if the 24-year-old carry themselves like an adult, and a consenting adult, that you know, and they don't seem like they hostage or being just kind of, you know, play with it in their mind. You know, I'm cool with it.
But let me, okay.
Because
Let me,
the reason I say that, because it's a lot of older men that's digging on young women. They don't want. They'll tell you, I don't want nothing old. And the younger women are digging on them. And the dude was like, some of them are okay with taking care of the young lady, like giving her money and vice versa. Then you got some older women that's cool with dating a younger dude.
mm-hmm.
Me, myself, I would probably have some limitations on the age. Like I'd be like, you gotta at least be 35, about, you know, something. I ain't gonna go that young. That's a little bit. Yeah. That would be a little off for me.
Yeah, it just I mean, it's just
That's
something
for me.
about
That's just, I mean, to each his own.
So there's no barrier as to where it just seems like, okay, I get it. You like younger men, but you kind of crossing the threshold. Okay, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Shit. I don't know. It just seems creepy. Yeah.
It's crazy to me, man. So
like I say, I love the part that you say, you know, get who gets you. I get that. I understand that. But it's, come on, man. I mean, like,
with me, it would be, what's the mutual benefit?
Right. I love that perspective.
What's the mutual benefit? If the 60-year-old and the 24-year-old feel like there's a mutual benefit, that they're both benefiting something from that, then who are we to say, bro, that could be your granddaughter or that could be your granddaddy? Because they're gonna tell you, I don't give a what you think.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And so I don't care. Now, as a father, would I want my 24-year-old daughter to date a 60-year-old man? Probably not. But if I interfere and I get in there and say, "Oh, you can," she gonna sneak and do it anyway, or do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's a grown woman. You see what I'm saying? I've seen people try that. Don't bring them around me. Don't, you know? My daughter, when my daughter was in college, my daughter was dating this dude who was at that time at least probably 40.
Mm-hmm.
That's double her age almost.
Correct.
I met the dude.
Hey, Cheryl.
I met the dude. He came by. He seemed like a good dude, you know. And, you know, we let him know in so many terms, you know, that we'll bust you up if you F up. But I mean, I wasn't gonna tell her. Now, you sure you wanna? No, I just, because, man, these young adults, man, they have to make their decision. We try to tell them, we try to encourage, we try to guide them in the right way, but ultimately, they're gonna make their own decisions, bro.
Yeah,
they're gonna make their own decisions, and so those decisions are their decisions.
True that.
Right. And when we try to interject our own feelings and how we feel about the situation on them, bro, most of the time they just rebel anyway.
Yeah, this reminds me of the episode of Good Time when Thelma was dating that old dude.
I've just seen too much of it to place myself in the judgmental zone, because that may be the person. You remember a while ago. This might have been last year sometime. We actually had a video later where she was grown. Well, I mean, had grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
And she was dating this younger dude, and they were sitting around the table. They were like, but mama and grandmama, she was like, hey, this is what I like. This is what we get each other.
Yeah.
Then we had one where it was a younger dude that got an older lady pregnant. You remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah. So it happens, man.
Yeah, I ain't saying it don't happen. It just at some point it just seemed like it ought to be a, I don't know. And then because
you saying it should be age restriction, it should be an age gap restriction or something.
Yeah, something. You know what I mean? Because at some point, because a lot of times we do know that scientifically that women are, in most cases, are more mature than men. So that's been scientifically proven. You got schools that purposely they split the boys from the girls because girls are known to learn quicker. So they already got like a jump on us, so to speak. So it could be that even though that person may be 60, in actuality they may be 40.
Yeah. So again, if they have a mutual benefit, and the mutual benefit, good morning, Miss Paulette. And the mutual benefit is, hey, they love the idea of having what the younger partner brings to the table, their energy, their openness. They love what the older party brings to the table, the stability, the perspective. Each person may feel complimented by what the other brings.
That's true.
And that's all I'm saying. You can tell. I think if you look at a relationship, Vel, and you look really deep enough, if you looking like that, if you looking that deep, and you see that somebody's being manipulated, either party is being manipulated, you can kind of see that, bro.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't crazy. You can see that maybe one party is being manipulated.
Yeah,
and then you know what it is. Right. You know what it is, right?
Yeah.
But so what happens when you don't see nothing? Everybody, they getting along, they happy, they just seem like they in love, they doing stuff, they kicking it, he helping her grow, she helping him, keeping him alive, or vice versa.
I mean, I think it was a beautiful union. I mean, I'm not negating it, where the age was different and they had an amazing relationship. I'm not negating it.
Just to answer your question, from my perspective, answer your question, I don't think there should be, like, you should put you shouldn't date. This should be like if it was a scale or something. If you between 60 and 70, you should only date a younger woman between 30 and 60. You know what I'm saying? Or no, I don't think there should be a scalable gap or
I guess the reason why I kind of put some I don't want to say restrictions, but thought process behind it, because okay, she 24. We just using what I saw. She's 24. He's 60. Okay. As time progress, and I ain't saying that this happens in all cases. As time progress, he gonna start seeing life different than he's seen. He already seen a lot of life. Things gonna change for her. She gonna start maturing with her body. She gonna start maturing with her moods change. Is gonna shift and all this stuff like that. So I think some things have to be taken into consideration when you the communication piece that we always talk about. Okay, let's communicate this to, okay, hey, when I get about 35, 40, everything ain't gonna be like it was, you know what I'm saying? Now you knocking this 75 now. So what's up? You know what I'm saying? What we doing?
So let me ask you this. So what if the 60-year-old has been married before, have already experienced the wife going through menopause and all this different stuff, understands that?
He understands that from another woman's perspective, but even though he understands it,
I'm just saying, but he already knows. So he already knows that that's coming. That's part of it. And that's coming along.
I mean, he already knows, but he knows it from that woman's perspective, not from the woman's perspective.
But he knows that. My point is, he knows that that's a part of it. He knows that that's coming.
Yeah.
Now he don't know how she gonna respond.
Yeah, I don't think every woman is the same as it pertains to their particular process.
That's understood. That's understood.
Yeah.
But he knows it's coming regardless of how it come. He know it's coming.
Yeah.
Because he's been through that before. I'm just saying, what if he's already been married or been dated somebody who's been through all these different changes, moves?
More than likely, if he's 60 years old, he more than likely 96.5% he done been married before.
Not necessarily. I know some guys right now that's 60 and over. They ain't never been married.
That's why I gave the percentage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they ain't.
4.5% is a lot.
And then you could have been married for 2 months. Do that count for being married? Yeah, you ain't experienced nothing in that time.
Yeah. Y'all quiet this morning. What's up with y'all? Y'all quiet. Y'all ain't saying something.
I think they taking it all in. So this is the reality check. Okay. Not every age gap relationship is healthy.
Okay.
And not everyone is unhealthy. Mm-hmm. The key issue is not age by itself. The key issue is whether the relationship is built on mutual respect, clear intention, emotional honesty, and balanced power. Some age gap relationships are healthy and deeply supportive. Others can contain power imbalances based on money, experience, or emotional control. That's when they start trying to manipulate you. The real question is whether both people have equal dignity and real choice.
Yeah, I like that. They put some more. They shed some more light into it.
Let's get deeper. Let's go deeper today. Let's go a little deeper today. Let's talk about the psychology.
I love you, bro. I want to tell you that. I ain't told you I love you in a minute.
I love you too, my brother. Look, let's go a little deeper. Let's look at the psychology of it.
Okay.
So, because when you start to talk about age gaps and age differences, I think psychology definitely plays a part or plays a role.
You said that yesterday.
So then you have to look at attachment styles then. One deeper way to understand age gap attraction is through attachment style. Early experiences with caregivers and close relationships can shape the kind of people someone finds attractive later in their life. So here are the 3 types of attachment styles. You got the anxious attachment, the avoidant attachment, and the secure attachment. So it makes a difference in which one of these attachment styles that they fall, what category they fall in. The anxious attachment may prefer older partners because they feel more reassuring, stable, and protective.
And I would say this too, because we just being honest. And my dad had talked about this with me one time, and it's before everything happened with him. This probably been about, I don't know, maybe about 15, 20 years ago. We were just kicking and riding or whatever. He said, bro, he said, son, he said, I ain't messing with no little girls or nothing. He was just having a good time. He said, these little girls ain't built up like they used to do. He said, when I was younger, he said, you had some voluptuous looking women or whatever the case may be that was younger. He said, but like now, he said, man, what they putting in the food? He said, right. Man, these little girls. So it could it be that some of these young men, older men, when they see these younger girls, they more attracted to the physical. And then they, get attached to the, the physical. They kind of find out they don't got their ass in the trap.
Hey, well, let's see if they'll fall into one of these other categories. I don't know. Since you asked that question. So we know the anxious attachment, they may prefer older partners because they feel more reassuring, stable, and protective. Then you got the avoidant attachment, may prefer older partners because the relationship can feel structured in a way that allows emotional distance or less pure style pressure. I ain't even never looked at it that way, bro.
No, there's a whole nother. They just took a whole nother turn.
That's why I said let's take a deeper dive, because now if you're looking at this from a peer pressure, you ain't got no peer pressure there.
No, ain't none.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, ain't none. Can't be none.
So now I'm looking at
it yourself.
I'm looking at that the relationship will be structured. I don't got to worry about being pressured, peer pressure. man, the emotional aspects of it, I could be a little distant. I don't have to be like, all gun.
It may just be the total gist of it when I really think about it. Just the whole foundation of it.
It could be. Then you have the secure attachment. They can also prefer older partners, but usually for compatibility rather than because of unmet emotional needs. So it's just for security reasons, and I ain't saying like to make them feel secure, but for compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I had a conversation, and I'm not saying I actually had. I'm using that for an example. If I had a conversation with a 75-year-old woman, and our conversation, I mean, like it was just clicking on all cylinders. Man, I felt like I knew. I felt like I done known this lady forever because we had stuff in common. We were so compatible. Everything was just clicking. I might want to date this woman. She might want to date me, and everybody might be telling her that man ain't 57.
Mm-hmm.
People telling me, man, that lady's 75, bro. What you gonna do with us? Man, we compatible. We get along. We understand each other.
So let's get a little deeper.
That's a 20-year age gap.
Yeah, let's get a little deeper because once you get under a certain age, there always is an issue and a problem because they say that person is a child. So, and I'm just gonna bring him up because it's a lot of other individuals that did it, and then nothing really happened to them. I mean, Elvis Presley was married to a younger girl. Rick James had a song say she was only 17 and she was sexy. But it always seems like it's out of place when it's the man and the girl is, or the young lady is younger. But however, they said that Robert Kelly said that he has a mental issue and said that he is really like, even though he's how old he is, he has a younger mind and he always liked younger girls. But based upon the law, he's out of order. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when we talking about psychological earlier, does that play a true part in it?
So you know that there's an argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the LGBTQIA community, right?
Alphabet boys, yeah.
When it comes to that community and them saying about the transgenders and participating in sports and all of this, and they trying to use the argument, I was born like this and blah blah blah, and people like, no, you was born a woman or you was born a man, right? Correct. And if you're a man, you're a man. If you're a woman, you're a woman. And so, and they was like, no, it is. So now people who are pedophiles now, they said if they can use that same argument, I can use that same argument too. I was born like you saying R. Kelly, my mental, see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And they trying to use that same type of argument, saying, well, if I like small children, how is that a problem? If they saying, I'm saying I was born this way. If they saying I was born this way, and you wasn't born, you was born a man. No, it might. You see what I'm saying? Wow. They trying to present the argument like that.
I mean, hey.
And so now you have to start looking at it. I've actually seen it when people be like,
what's up, Trudy?
When people throw that in there, hey Trudy, when people throw that in there.
I mean,
well, I want to ask some of our listeners, because Lavelle brought this up earlier. He said that maybe there should be some type of gap or chart, not necessarily a chart, but something that says, hey, you should only date, if you're going to go younger, it should only be in this one. You shouldn't go beyond 20 years or whatever. Do you guys think that dating a younger person, that it should be like a restriction on the age? Like if he's 60, he should only date somebody maybe 15 to 20 years younger than him, or can he go 40 years younger than him, or vice versa? Can she go just 20 years and that should be the limit, or could she go to somebody 40 years younger than her? If she's 60, she can get her 20-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't. Again, if there is a mutual understanding, a mutual that everybody's getting something out of it, whatever that may be for them in terms of their needs. I'm not. I don't say like no 60-year-old should be messing with no 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, I don't like. I don't even look at young folk as grown at 18. I would my grown for me is when you hit 21.
Right.
And that's still just legally grown.
Because age don't have anything to do with maturity. You got some old ass food.
Right. So I would say 21. Anything above 21, you know.
But fair game. Like in some societies, like the Jews, with the male child, they considered the male child at 10 years old to be grown, based upon what they were doing within their society, and put them to work early and kind of like manipulating the system, so to speak. So it just really depends.
So, cause I told you, like my grandmother married my dad's mom married her husband, and she was young. I don't know if she was underaged, but I know he was a lot older than her. Because my grandfather, whom I never met, he died before I was born. He was much older than my grandmother, and like from what they say, you know, he was a lot older. You know, so I don't know.
But then too, even back then, like because of depending on how old they were. Like to this day, my grandmother really don't know how old she was, because back then they messed up a lot of records. Her birth certificate was wrong. She don't know if she was, and then she don't know exactly which day she was born. We don't know if it was July 3rd or July the 4th. So we don't know if she, you know, if she would have been 95 this year. We don't know if she's 95 or 96. You know what I'm saying? So back in those days, a lot of records and stuff were jacked up. So a lot of times they didn't even know how old they were.
So I just asked
if they both act like adults, it's okay.
So listen to this, bro.
Okay.
I just asked a question. So I asked the question back in the day, how was it okay for older people to marry underage children? It said in antebellum America, marriages between older men and younger women were socially acceptable. While not extremely common, marriage was viewed as more as a contract, and the minors to be wedded, typically girls, were thought of as going from responsibility of one man, the father, to the other man, the husband.
It's almost like property. It's damn near like slavery.
Like property, bro. That's like property.
Yeah, no. Anyway, hey.
It says now this was something that was done on the Colorado Public Radio. This title, it says child marriage common in the past persists today. This was a study done in April 2017. Colorado historian Nicholas Sirrett new book, American Child Bride, A History of Minors and Marriage in the U.S. is filled with anecdotes about very young women, one as young as 9 years old, marrying much older men. How the hell can you marry a 9-year-old, bro?
Come on, bro. Are you serious?
9 years old. The book traces the evolution of child marriage from colonial times to today and points to poor rural areas of the country where the practice has always been more common than wealthy urban areas. In Colorado, more than 5,000 minors have married since the year 2000 in most states. The minimum age for marriage is 18, but many, including Colorado, allow for exceptions. Wow. Okay.
So that mean it had to be a thing because it went on too much. And again, I guess what we always also have to look at a lot of the time by us being slaves at the time, or whatever. I think a lot of time we adopted what our slave owners did.
They call it the antebellum America.
Yeah, and we went on damn antebellum. That comes from them folks.
Trudy said, if they both act like adults, it is okay. I just don't like being called a cougar. I am a black cat. LOL.
Whatever, man. You a cougar, man. You a cougar.
So Trudy telling y'all right out the rip, I like young men. I just don't call me no cougar. And that's okay.
With you. When I was single, I mean, I had a lot of older women that was just like persistent in me, and to a certain degree, it felt kind of what's the word I want to use? Celebratory, if you will. Like
right. It made went back in the day when I was young, because that's it seemed like that's always attracted to me was younger girls and older women. Nobody really my age, kind of like in my age. And even the older women, they was a boy, you know, I turn you out, little young, you call me a little young buck, you get turned out, you know. And when it was different. When a younger girl like me, it was just, they was just infatuated. But when an older woman like me or had an interest in me, I felt like King Kong beating on my chest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think for young men that are attracted to older women and vice versa, I think, boy, it's, and then I maybe for older men too, because they feel like they got the trophy, they can carry the trophy around, and then you know they partners be dabbing the boy, he got him a young thing, be dabbing them up.
Like Fifi's so crazy, you know. They always, you know, mess with me and Dawn because she just, you know, she's 5 years older than me. But she say, Fifi be like, "Mama, don't you know you was 10? Your husband was 5." She was like, "Ugh."
You was 20, he was 15, mama.
Like, you so crazy.
Candace said, I'm loving this topic. I believe I have a sign on my back. It reads, holler at her. She likes them young. Man, you get you a young man.
I'll tell you.
Keep that, you know, he keep that thing young and fresh.
Yeah.
Miss Paulette said, well, back then girls was taught at an early age how to cook, care for a home, and how to care for children. Now these girls don't know how to do nothing and don't want to learn. Yeah. And I think that's a good point too, Miss Paulette, that from the time little girls back then, when you talk about early on in colonial times on up to the early 1900s, the young girls were taught to get up, cook, clean, come in, you know, cause at that time the mother, a lot of the mamas wasn't working. They worked in the household. They took care of the kids, they cooked, and they taught the little girls to do the same thing. And so, of course, they could make good housewives because they already knew they was already doing it at home.
Yeah.
But 9 years
That's
old,
a very
bro.
good perspective. Yeah.
But 9?
They don't know how to damn boil water, dog.
I'm 25 and I'm finna marry a 9-year-old.
Oh, hell no.
It just don't even seem right.
See what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Candace said, I like him young, Tony, but now I was 3 years younger. I do prefer younger. Now I'm talking about young.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean,
I ain't talking about 3 years, 5 years. I'm talking about 10, 15 years.
10 plus.
That boy had that how you running around the block. Hey, you think you be in them classes working out? Paulette said young boys were also taught how to work and take care of the home. Yeah, they was out there working with their hands. So I guess it was a little different.
Yeah.
Judy said, Tony, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, let me read it. Was Tony, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if they are adults, just face it, guys. Older women are looking better than these younger women. Okay, Trudy.
Okay.
He said, I'm not going past 9 years younger. Okay, right. That's younger.
I mean, what's your motive behind it?
Why 9 years? You just put a 9 years. You might well go 10.
Because this think if it's 10 and you're single now And this dude here is literally checking all the boxes. He fine, he smell good, got a good job. He doing all these things.
Breaking your back every chance he get.
But he don't stretch the mark when he 10. What you do? Do you say, okay, maybe if it's 11 or 12, but
I'm just saying, yeah, man, look, he's standing up. What the song say?
Stand up
in it. Yeah, he's standing up in it. and he checking off all the boxes, man. He take care of his business, he clean, he work, he taking care, he can be a provider, he can be, a protector. He checking off all the boxes. So and that's the thing, Ken, is I'm saying, like, why put an age on it if the man or young man is doing all the stuff that you need for him to do, or be all the stuff that you need for him to be for you, and you are that to him? What's the problem?
Right. He said we crazy early in the morning. Well, we crazy.
Who said that?
Candace.
He said, I want us to at least be in the same age bracket for a minute. Man, like, why though?
Yeah, I mean, what does that matter?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so in other words, sometimes the attraction is not mainly about age, it's about how safe, seen, and steady the other person feels. Now, here are some power and safety dynamics. Older partners can unconsciously represent authority, protection, and leadership. For some younger people, that feels safe and reassuring. For others, it feels exciting because it creates a dynamic that is different from their pure relationship. So again, we're talking back.
Put a pin there. Now this just me. This just me. And I don't know why I keep on using my uncle and my auntie. I just go over there a lot as well. But my uncle started aging a lot quicker than my auntie was. So and so it didn't really start standing out as he got older. Older things started happening. The gray hair, hair coming out your ears and all this type of thing. And so one day I was like, damn, what the hell going on? Why you look so much older than this lady? Like, something don't look right. I'm like, my auntie, she just is looking good and she older, whatever. I'm like, okay. And then they finally say, your uncle's like 15, 20 years older than your auntie. I'm like, okay, it is crazy. I'm like, what the
right? She is, man, like gracefully, man, just coming on up, and he looking like shit. I had to throw him away. I'm 3 years older than Monica.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 3 years older than Monica. So to me, that's not like, even the 5 year what you and done, to me, that's not like a big gap. Because it's,
But here again, when you think about a Monica, when you think about myself, Monica she may be 3 years younger on paper, but Monica is way mature than whatever age she is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But we've grown into that, though, Lavelle.
Right. I ain't talking about you personally. I'm just talking about her personally.
Yeah, but I'm saying still, she's grown into that maturity level. She wasn't always like that,
Yeah, none of us are. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So what I'm saying is, to me, 3 years, 5 year difference. That's typical. If you had a study, if you did a study of most people that are dating or married, the age difference is probably between that 3 to 5 year range between them. Mm-hmm. So that's typical. I would say that's typical. But when you start talking 10, 15, 20 years, that's the age gap I'm talking about, or older.
Yeah.
She's talking about, yeah, she was. Girl, please. And anywho, yeah.
Praise the queen, Doc. Praise the queen. Praise the queen.
That's my baby. That's my baby now. But she wasn't always there. Neither was I. So,
oh yeah, come on, bro.
So when you start to look at that's when I consider like a big age group. Like, get married at 9 and the guy is 20 something, and not to mention she ain't experienced nothing in life.
Yeah, but that's what but look at what you read though. It wasn't considered a covenant, it was considered a contract.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. That means, like I said, that's ownership. That ain't got that's like the color purple.
Right. Yeah, it's different. So This is where age gap relationships can split into two directions. Healthy version, leadership without control, confidence without domination, steadiness without manipulation. Unhealthy version, control disguised as maturity, superiority disguised as wisdom, or emotional leverage disguised as guidance. That distinction matters. Feeling drawn to strength is not the problem. The problem begins with strength turns into control. So when I tell you this, damn near probably need to be a part 3, because
well, you know, we've done them week discussions before, so
I ain't even got into the identity formation, biological and evolution factor, gender differences. I ain't got into none of this stuff.
Yeah, I'm with it, Doc, because I did, because again, when we started the podcast, we always said we wanted to try to talk, even like you said, it was some stuff you just weren't gonna touch, you weren't gonna talk about. And this is one of these conversations that we see every day. We don't say nothing much about it, but it's happening. You know what I'm saying?
And now it's like you said, Lavelle, the age gap is widening.
Yeah.
Today. Yeah. It's man. I sent it to you. Hold on. What? I sent you the video.
Which one was it?
Hold on, y'all. I got to download this video. This go with directly what we talking about today. That's why I sent you the video, and I forgot I sent it to you. Hold on, let me find this video for y'all, cause
I'm ready to do it. If you tell me which one it is, you inbox it to me.
I think I sent it to you and Queen. It was in the person was in.
I'm in that group person. You know what the name of it was? What was it? TikTok or was it from Facebook?
Here you go. No, I got it right here. That's how I got it.
Okay.
We finna make it happen, Captain.
All right.
We finna make it happen, Captain. Yeah, Doc. We finna make it happen, Captain. Unless Facebook get to tripping, you know, sometimes it trip. Oh no, it let me do it.
Okay. Ms. Gwen said the good about this podcast is it's organic. So some topics they are on their own personality and grows beyond one episode. Oh yeah, most definitely. Yep.
All right. So check this out. Okay. Now it's dealing with what we're talking about, the old was young, but this one it has a different kind of connotation to it.
Reached our contract of $7,000 because he did not pay for my second semester of tuition as agreed upon.
Okay, now hold on, ma'am. Why would is this man your father?
No. So it all started my first semester of college when I realized I didn't have enough money to get by. And I was, of course, busy with studying, so I didn't get a job. But I had heard other girls use sugar daddies to get their money in an easy way. So I went on to sugardaddy.com and I saw that he made $1 million a year.
So you registered for this website for sugar daddies, and sugar makes you a sugar baby, I suppose?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And that's where you connected with Mr. Hughes here, who was also on the site, and you two got into an agreement?
Correct, yes. So he asked me, jokingly on our second date, what do I want out of this agreement? And of course, since we met on a sugar daddy website, I knew that for our relationship, I would get money.
Let's get you in here, Mr. Hughes. So are you conceding to the court that you were on this sugar daddy website?
Yes.
Okay, and you matched with the plaintiff here, and you two started seeing each other?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Now, I don't want to act too naive here, but I believe in these sugar daddy, sugar baby relationships, there is a transactional element, yes?
I'm assuming there always is.
Okay, so what did you understand the arrangement to be?
We had an arrangement, which is true, where I told her that while we were dating, I would pay her tuition of $7,000 for her school.
Okay. Here's my question. Y'all are saying similar but different things. Where we seem to depart is the duration, I think, of the contract, because you're admitting that you agreed to pay her tuition.
Exactly. I am agreeing that I had accepted that agreement. However, in my mind, I was thinking, okay, well, this agreement goes on as long as we're dating.
Okay.
And that's it.
You're saying that the duration was only going to be substantiated throughout the dating period?
Correct.
However long you both agreed to see each other romantically? But you're saying that you understood it to be indefinitely, that basically as long as you had college tuition due, this man would pay for it.
You see, I never foresaw us breaking up. That was never in my line of sight.
Yeah,
Where would
like-
you get an idea like that, young lady?
Well, I didn't think that the sugar daddy relationship
Ended?
was, yeah.
You just thought it went on till you become a sugar grandbaby? I mean, when does this
Well,
does this end?
I don't know. I mean, he makes an indefinite amount of money, so I was expecting an indefinite amount of benefits. That's what he told me.
Okay, so why did the relationship end?
I had taken her to Tiffany's
Okay.
to buy, because I was buying her things all the time, expensive gifts. And
Like
you know,
what? The court is curious.
I mean, I am a sugar daddy. you
Yeah,
know.
no, I understand. we now we're invested. We
Okay,
what
not-
types of
We
things-
are
Oh, no,
invested,
ma'am.
yes.
What types of things were you buying her, sir?
I was, well, again, jewelry. I was taking her out to dinner. I was taking her on trips,
Okay.
you know, to Savannah.
So why aren't y'all together, sir? I'm confused.
Well, because I had always told her she was
So let me pause for a second. So this was clearly, it was older, younger. She was clearly way younger than this man.
Mhm.
But this wasn't this was a business. To me, it was more of a business arrangement. As long as you dated me, I was your trophy, or you were my trophy, I would pay for your college tuition.
And then
Right.
also it seemed like this what's happening here. That some of these older men, this is a fetish to them. What these young
Yeah, because they got a whole site dedicated to it.
right?
They got a whole site.
I've never heard of sugardaddy.com.
I
but
never heard of it, but
I'm
they
finna
passed it.
go tell Don. I'm finna go tell Don. Say, look, baby. I
You
think
gonna
it's
be get you a sugar daddy.
No, well, hey, have it work. But if it's a sugar mama website, I mean, all I got is go over there and just show up a little bit. But if she, a millionaire, I'm tripping.
You'll get your head busted.
What's up, Pop?
Ms. Paulette said, when a young person get with an older person, will the younger person still stick by them when things change? Because nothing stays the same. Who can stand the test of time? And that's exactly what
I said that earlier.
this is exactly what this relationship was. It didn't
Right.
stand the test of time. Now,
Right.
as this go on, you will see how this played out, and you'll see the youngness in her, how the youngness in her played out, because he was trying to be, even though he was a sugar daddy on his site, he was trying to be discretionary.
Correct.
And of course, you know, she was young and wasn't trying to be. So check this out.
was always taking pictures, you know, and
But
which is,
that
you know,
is
she
what
took
happened when you
pictures.
sir, I got to stop you. That is what happened when you date these super young Gen Zers. They're
Right.
addicted to their phones. You know, if you want a woman that's going to sit there and give you undivided attention, you need to date a grown woman, sir.
Yes, yes. However, I always explicitly told her, please do not post it online, obviously.
And you know that was going to go in one ear, not the other, don't you?
She told me that she would not post it. So, I mean, you know, we were deep into the relationship, and so I just believed her.
Okay, well, we'll get to the wisdom of that in a second. So anyways, you told her not to post photos online. Let me guess, she posted photos online.
Correct.
Okay, and what does that have to do with why y'all aren't together?
Well, because
Because, Your Honor, his wife found the images.
His wife?
His wife.
Oh, so you're not just a sugar daddy, you're a married sugar daddy.
yes,
And
That
did you
was
go
not
ahead.
disclosed at the beginning of our relationship.
That was going to be my question, ma'am. So you had no idea that in addition to this man being, gosh, I got to think 30 years older than you,
At
give or
least.
take. Yeah, okay. He's also a married man.
Yes, which
Now-
is not disclosed.
Now, would you have dated him if you had known he was married?
Absolutely not.
Why did you not
You
at
lying.
least give her the option of choosing whether or not you wanted to participate in
Well-
an extramarital affair?
I mean, I didn't go that far into it, to tell you the truth. I mean, in terms of my marriage, I mean, we've been married for 20 years, and the spark has gone out of it. And
So I'm not asking you to justify why you were on the site. Frankly, that's between you and your wife.
Right.
What I'm trying to understand is why you didn't feel the need to tell this young lady that you were indeed married so she could then choose, because some women do choose to still have affairs with married men.
I just didn't feel like it mattered.
And so when your wife saw the images, sir, what happened?
Well, I mean, obviously, she wasn't very happy, you know. And
Are you still with your wife?
I am not.
So your wife left you.
Yes. Yes.
Over this?
Yes, correct.
Wow.
We're divorced.
How does that make you feel?
Horrible. I mean, she was also not just my wife, my best friend, my everything, you know.
Was
and-
she your best friend in all the things when you were laid up with the plaintiff here?
Yeah, she was my
Yes,
best
she
friend.
was.
I mean, no, of course I didn't tell her what was going on, but I don't know. To me, I think, you know, things happen in a relationship, when you're with somebody for a long time. And, I saw her looking at, the pool boy, differently. I'm like, okay, well, maybe she's got something going on.
Okay, we're not going to bring up what your wife was or wasn't doing. Let's just stick to the facts of the case. So you two agree that you had an agreed upon financial arrangement in the beginning.
Correct.
You admit, ma'am, that he did comply with his portion up until a certain point in time.
Until a certain point, correct.
So he paid for how many semesters?
He paid for 2 semesters.
He did pay for 2 semesters. And you admit that you paid for 2 semesters,
Yeah.
but you...
But what about the Tiffany gifts and all that stuff? Don't that account for something too?
It does.
I mean, he clearly kept his bargain up in paying their tuition. He paid $14,000 in tuition. But he said he also said he bought her jewelry and stuff, took her to Tiffany's, and that Tiffany's is not cheap.
No, but how is he spending all his money? His wife don't know.
Because he probably got a business and all that, but he's a rich man.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's taking on trips.
The woman
Without his wife?
He said his wife was looking at the pool boy.
She probably getting stiffed by the pool boy.
do not feel that you need to pay for a 3rd semester.
Correct.
And you say that he should because...
Absolutely.
He said he would?
He said he would. That was a verbal agreement that we had together. And within that school year, we were dating.
So this is what I think. I think, sir, that you have paid a significant price, it seems, thus far for your choices.
Right.
You also had other things you could do. You talk about the spark going away in your marriage and potentially your wife looking at the pool boy. There's couples counseling, sir. There are all kinds of books and podcasts and websites and resources to work on the fact that what you're describing in a 20-year-long marriage sounds pretty standard. Okay? Attraction comes and goes, feelings fade and come back. But signing up for a sugar daddy website, one would not think is the first and most esteemed choice to make. But that's what you chose to do. You also made choices, young lady. You could have, like I said, gotten a job. You could have maybe taken less credit hours and maybe paced yourself academically at something that you could handle financially. But you chose to do none of that. You chose to, in your words, take the easy way out and become a sugar baby. You two both knowingly entered into what the court is going to recognize as a contract, an agreement between consenting adults. As questionable as the morality of it may be, I'm not in moral court. I'm in the court of law. I do find, Mr. Hughes, that you satisfied the term that you agreed to, which is to pay for tuition. I find, ma'am, that you accepted the term to receive tuition, and your part of the deal was to date this man. And you did do that. But it does sound like, Miss Bennett, that because of your actions, if I am to believe the defendant, which I don't have any evidence to not believe him, that he asked you to exercise discretion around y'all's relationship, to keep it offline. You, like so many young people today, lack any discipline around keeping anything about your life off the internet, and you chose to share it with the world. That had a consequence to him. Now, I'm not going to hold you accountable, ma'am, for the end of his marriage. That's on him, and I believe he is paying a price for that. But you are responsible, if I had to pick between the two of you, as to why y'all two are not an item today. And because of your actions to disclose the relationship publicly and ring the alarm on his world falling apart, which again, that's his problem to deal with, that though ultimately I believe is the reason y'all are not still in the agreed upon arrangement. And therefore, once that arrangement terminated, I believe that your obligation financially to her also terminated. The court says that y'all had a contract. You both agreed to it. But there was a murkiness, there was an ambiguity around the duration part of your contract. That's going to work in your favor today, sir. Because y'all did not specify in writing or otherwise how long the agreement would go for, the court is dismissing your claim today, ma'am. This was not an enforceable contract as to duration. You got 2 semesters of college paid for. There's a lot of people that would love to be able to say the same. You experienced what sugar baby life is like. Maybe you'll try job life next time. The plaintiff's case is dismissed. That's my ruling.
Dude, this a whole Tyler Perry movie.
Man, what? Miss Gwen said this is the story of a selfish man. This is a story of selfish individuals because they both were selfish.
Yeah, both of them.
I'm not gonna put this just on the man because they had to enter into this contractual agreement, and she was selfish by saying, "Hey, you pay for my school, and then." Hey, I'm not going to be discretionary with this, like you told me to do. I'm going to go out and post this on social media. So they both were selfish.
Right.
You know.
What's ironic about the whole scenario, it literally depicts everything that we talked about in a roundabout way.
Yep. Yeah, and that's why I thought about it when I sent it to you, and I sent it to you for that purpose. So when I see stuff, I send it to you so I could go back and pull it up. Okay. And I just had forgot, it slipped my mind, and I thought about it while we sitting there talking. I was like, oh man, I got the perfect video, because this video, man, even though contextually it was a little different, but it still kind of went along with what we talk about, dating older versus younger. And I think this was she's talking about she thought we was gonna date for a long time. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't think that.
Because she put her foot in her mouth. She said her friend girls talked about the Sugar Daddy website and how it helped them through school. That was your whole plight.
That was it. Yeah, and she was being selfish, trying to manipulate this man to get what she want, and really she really didn't have to manipulate him, because she went to a site that that's what it was all about. Hey, I got the money. What Mel said, it ain't tricking if you got it.
Yeah, but then what happens is it seemed like what had happened, some feelings got involved.
I don't even necessarily know if feelings got involved. I think she was still getting what she could get. He was using her as a trophy around his friends, where he took on trips and stuff around, the guy trips and stuff. And it was a trophy thing. But he still expected her to use some discretion, and her being young said, I'm at this nice country club. Oh, I'm over here and wherever kicking it with my bathing suit on. I'm taking pictures, and then somebody saw him and said, ain't that Julia's husband, Ricky? They sent him to Julia, and she like, oh, what the hell is this? And damn, now the marriage is over now. So he did pay the ultimate cost, for trying to, but
there's no way that one incident broke the marriage up. This is something that was ongoing. That it was something,
and it could have been. He said she was looking at the pool boy. This might have been the opportunity she needed. Well, he ain't doing it for me anyway. Let me just go on give me some money, because his indiscretion, because my stuff ain't been caught. He was caught, and to get up out of, give me a little change.
Then why would you put all your personal information on a site like that, and you're married anyway? That don't. I mean, that's something that needs to be discretionary to the point of where you.
But a lot of those sites, the first thing a lot of those sites say when you enter into them, you had to be a certain age, and then it asks you to agree to not disclose or be discretionary about what you the relationships or whatever you get involved in.
Yeah, they both put their foot in their mouth.
Ms. Glenn said, I agree with it was both. I take issue with he entered into with deceit, which makes both partners wrong. His deceit and her posting photos. But I think she would have still entered it if she had known he was married. She would still entered into it, because she had an objective, and that was to get her school paid for.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it wasn't gonna be with him, it was gonna be with the next dude. And she was like, well, I matched with him, so let me get this.
He wouldn't no downtrodden sugar daddy. He knows that he was easy where she could deal with.
Yeah, so let me get this money. Yeah. And then he wasn't a horrible looking man, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like she couldn't deal with him, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I imagine there's probably some sugar daddies on there that look like, man, bottom of somebody's feet. They don't care how many millions or billions you got.
Wow.
So, anyway, thank y'all. This is gonna have to be part 3, because I haven't even got through the psychological part behind it. We're going deeper part. I
wonder what I've never seen that judge show before. I like the judge. The judge was here.
I've seen her before. I can't think of her name, but I've seen her say she's spicy, bro. She real spicy with it. She's spicy with it. Mm-hmm. She got a quick mouth too. She's spicy. Yeah,
she was using them. She was using them words too, Doc. I said, now what that mean?
You crazy? We got to get out of here, man. But don't forget. Let me put my image up there. Got a couple of images. Boom.
And let me get you. I don't know if I talked to Monica yesterday. I talked to Greg yesterday, and he wasn't feeling well, bro. I mean, like he could barely talk. He was in pain. I prayed with him. Mm-hmm. I didn't follow back up with him and see what did he go to the emergency room. Just talking about it.
Yeah, when I talked to him, he was at the VA the other day. Yeah.
When I talked to him, man, I got, even talking about him getting a little emotional, you know what I'm saying? Because like Monica said, man, stuff be happening so fast, and I ain't saying nothing is going to happen, but it's just like, bro, when a good brother like that, man, to see going through stuff, and he been going back and forth to the doctor, man, for about 2-3 years, and they can't do this, they can't find this. But anyway, it's supposed to rain on Saturday, and he said that if the East egg hunt don't go on Saturday, we're gonna have something to where we get these things to these children. A lot of people have already bought things. You may call it a Child's Day out or something like that. But as of now, it's still supposed to rain on Saturday.
Miss Gwen, to this park. And then if he give us if it rains and he give us another thing, we'll make sure we get that to you. Just reach out to LaVelle, because I might be then I'm gonna be out of the country. I don't know if I'm gonna have service 24, you know what I'm saying? So just get with LaVelle, and he'll make sure.
As of today, when I talked to Monica yesterday, it was at 67%. Saturday night it's at 91%.
Yeah. So all right, so it's going down somewhere. I wish somebody would open up their doors and just let them just kind of do it on the inside, Yeah,
I thought about making a phone call, and I may still do that today. My partner, he has a gym, and I inbox you, Gwen. He has a gym, and I don't know if they got anything else going on, but I'm gonna try to give him a call on the day and see if that's possible. And
then holler Darryl, see if they would be willing to holler Darryl too. See if they be willing to just do it just for that, that couple of hours, just let people in and have a little Easter egg giveaway, the eggs, and and then everybody clean up out themselves and leave. It might be something they'd be willing to donate.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a couple of phone calls. But however, my event still will be going on, even though it's gonna be raining. They're just gonna move it on the inside in the lobby. So we ain't gonna let rain cancel that day. So
where it go?
So that's where I'll be at on Saturday night. We're gonna dance in the rain. So
dance in the rain. Y'all hear that? He gonna dance in the rain. He gonna be on the inside. He ain't dancing in the rain.
I just use that hypothetically.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And the relationship roundtable, man, love, life, and lessons. Actually, while we were on this morning, I was getting inboxes from one of the couple asked me if we needed some more people. And she recommended some other. I told her I needed another couple, and she was recommending people for me to call. So we're gonna have a good time on April the 27th. It's indoors at 7 p.m. A special edition of Two Men in Hats podcast, man, where we're gonna be live. We're gonna welcome guests to come in and sit in the audience to be a part of this round table. And only thing this time, we won't have a mic set up where you guys in the audience can come ask questions. We won't have a mic set up, but what we may be able to do is, you may not be on camera, but we may have somebody to take you a mic where you can ask your question. Because LaVelle will have his little extra mics, and we might be able to just take the mic around to ask people questions. We just won't have the camera panning all around and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. That's all I have, brother. Come on, pray us out.
Man, this was good, bro. And like you say, I mean, it's so many. And you showing that video, man, show they have it can have so many layers to it, how that thing can go. So it's a trip. But yeah, what do you say, Mayor? I'll be there, Lois Willie. I'll be the mic lady. Okay, then. Who is Mike? Never mind. Let us pray. Oh, gracious God, our Father, Lord God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for us being able to just discuss things that actually go on in our world and get some understanding about it. Continue to touch Tony, family, my family, and everybody that's associated with us. And we actually do all these things in God the Son, Jesus' name. And we said, amen.
Amen, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time.
Same bad place.
Two Men in Hats. Let's talk about it.
Good morning. Good morning. You already know what time it is. Tony, LaVelle, 2 Men in Hats podcast. Pull up to the table, grab a seat, let's begin. Real conversations when the hats come in. Life lessons, relationships too. Different perspectives, but the talk stay true. Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. Life, love, truth, and wisdom. Yeah, we talking about it. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Don't miss it on Facebook and YouTube. Pull up and come kick it. Tony got perspective. The veil bring it truth. And when Queen Watkins pull up, she spilling that tea for you. Queen Watkins segment. Like that TAT. You know when Queen step in the room, the conversation getting real, real soon. Real, real soon. Yeah.